Leadership is next. Judiciary has failed Nigeria. PMB, well, that's their lead story as well, but they've got different riders. To flag off Abuja-Kaduna rail line by July 26, President meets Senator Mark Ken Namani. I think that's where I'll pick up from this morning. And then you see the picture there with that handshake, and many will always impute all sorts of meanings in this picture. I know we always say in the class, look, don't tell us what you already know when you caption, but there's a lot that people don't know about this kind of picture. Can they read minds on this one? What could they be thinking?
Well, I don't know what the caption reads, but then...
It just talks about the handshake with former Senate President at the State House.
It goes beyond handshake, but what goes on in their hearts is a critical issue. You know, a lot of all these make-believe shows, and I think we shouldn't be deceived.
And then you have gunmen kill Boko's paramount ruler in Pt.2, which is a very unfortunate incident.
When would there be an end to all these killings, kidnappings, bombings, and all of that? You know, they don't portray Nigeria as a safe country.
And then you have reps set to pass own version of PIB, say oil sector needs total overhaul. So what could be the implication of this? Remember, we're talking about the fact that the PIB, when the new assembly comes, they start all over again. So now, if they are set to pass this will be in record time.
Their own version. You know, is it different from the old version? What's the meaning of the 8th
version? The 8th assembly will have a separate version from the 7th. And so, who knows? We don't know what version is before them, if it's the same one.
Exactly. We don't know the contents of these new version.
But there you go. That's leadership for you today.
New Telegraph. Cash crisis hits FG. No funds for capital projects. Inflation rises to 16.5%. Presidency trims foreign mission staff. And you have students, let's talk about these pictures. It's something we must talk about. Learning with tears. That's what New Telegraph captions these pictures. Students of Garba Noma Junior Secondary School in Bauchi sitting on the floor in a classroom to receive lecture. This was taken just yesterday.
And that's very sad. You know, very sad. But then there are other problems, you know, bedeviling the educational system. And I always believe that there should be an urgent, you know, conference, you know, to look at the educational sector, because unless you look at it, we are not going to produce the right kind of manpower for the industry. So imagine what can pupils learn under such conditions.
Because really it's amazing that we're coming back to this. I recall that it was only not too long ago that the Nigeria Economic Summit had education as its theme. Students, teachers, everyone, they were all there, and the government, and one who would have thought that they would have looked into the education.
You know, the problem. You know, the problems are too many. The enormity of the problem, you know, we cannot capture it in just one day. From primary school to the university level. It happens in the university system. Where there are no chairs for students to sit. You see students standing to take lectures.
There's one other story that has been making the rounds. The Inspector General of Police and the last Inspector General of Police. Look at this headline here. Read my handover notes, Arase tells the IG. Missing vehicles with Abuja automobile firm. It's all on page 3.
Wow. That's sad. That's sad. Maybe it's I don't know how true that information is, but if that is true, it sounds that the new IG did not study the document before, you know, making pronouncements, and that's grievous.
And the former IG was saying that you should have called me before addressing the press conference.
Exactly, to find out what happened to these vehicles and all of that. So it's I don't know, it's not tidy enough. It's not tidy enough.
That's it with New Telegraph. Back to you, Mark.
Well, The Guardian is next here, and you see right there, low patronage threatens local meter production. 250 billion naira investment hangs in the balance. Discos not under obligation to buy domestic brands. That's a quote. Well, this is something that we'll definitely be getting a reaction to much later in the program. But as an observer, what do you make of this kind of headline?
Low patronage threatens local metal production. Well, patronage by who? Discos or
the discos?
Well, but there's a regulatory body. There's a regulatory body to streamline things in the industry. I think they should be compelled to patronize. I don't know why they are not patronizing. Maybe the quality.
No, but the manufacturers themselves have said time and again that we have the capacity to meet the quality that you want. But it keeps going back and forth between the discos and the manufacturers.
Yeah, there was a time recently that I was talking to somebody at the meter section at Oshodi, and he said, it was a part of the team testing the meters. I discovered some problems with the meters produced at that time. So I think that should be looked into. In this country, we have Nigerian Standards Organization that should look at all this and certify before they're pushing to the market. If there are no problems with the meters, I think they should be patronized. But I suspect there are problems that need to be fixed.
There's this perspective as well that some argue. I've heard some lawyers.
Let me quickly take off.
Sorry, just a minute, Mark. I mean, some say if we buy our mobile phones and then telecommunication company just connects us, why can't we do the same thing for the meters? Just thinking. Mark,
Well, let me quickly take the other headlines here. National Assembly moves against Land Use Act. We believe that in the coming days we will be seeing some reactions by state governments on this one. Page 6 is where you find details. Energy furniture costs push inflation rates to 16.5%. Experts urges return to high import tariff. Page 6 is where you find details. And at the bottom here, there's some stories that should draw your attention. Buhari urges judiciary to join fight against graft. Paul Egwen is Super Eagle's new technical advisor. I'd like you to react to this story, maybe stories I should say. Only president can chair dialogue on Niger Delta now is a quote. And this one, which you'll find on page 8, government cancels interviews for Unity schools.
Well, on the Unity schools, what method will the government use to identify the right candidates? Because some of these things are subject to abuse, and my children have gone through before. And, let there be clear-cut guidelines on selection. And the process must be free from abuse, so that people can trust the system, so that people can believe in it. I think let them come up with a guideline that is error-free. That's my take on that. National Assembly moves against the Land Use Act. The Land Use Act is one of the critical issues in economic development, because you want to acquire land for this, for that, but the process of getting COO and all that is so cumbersome. Particularly in Lagos State, the economic capital of the nation. So it's something that should be relaxed. I don't know. But it's going to throw up a lot of arguments in the days to come.
Depending on how they approach it, really.
Yeah. So that's my take.
Well, that'll be it for The Guardian.
All right, well, the Abuja Inquirer will be taken in Lagos then, Markwe, and we've got it here. It says, Saraki, Buhari in closed-door meeting with Nnamani, Mark. So this explains that picture, why they were smiling. So who could this be about? The Senate president? Maybe they're looking for what could be the way out.
That's the only solution.
Because these are former Senate presidents here.
Yes.
Nnamani and Mark.
Yeah, it's kudos.
I'm going to say curiosity kills the cat.
Yes.
Well. And then we also have tension in police as Idris probes Arashe. no truth that I went away with 24 cars. Also, this says that the current IG is probing the immediate past IG. Well, that's what they report.
All of them should be proved anyway. Those that are, those that are free, innocent should be. But
when you say all of them, you mean every other one, even before arrest?
Exactly, all of them. All of them have issues. All of them have issues. So they should be probed.
Who is going to do that? Police investigate police?
Well, yeah.
Okay, no, police investigate former police.
Exactly. But somebody said there is no honor among thieves.
Oh dear, that's a strong one. Well, there you go. That ends a look at some of the front and some back pages this morning with Dr. Olubunmi Ajibade, senior lecturer in Mass Comm Department, University of Lagos. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you.